Good evening and welcome back to the Mindful Model Makers workshop. We're going to carry on now. I've done the mod rock on the tree trunk, and as you can see, it's come out. You can hear it's very hard because that's what mod rock does, goes like that. Now all I'm doing now, I'm using my top quality paints, which I always buy from the works. I've just got a brown and a little bit of water just to water it down, and I'm just going to paint the tree trunk, and hopefully you'll see where I put the ridges in, it kind of looks like bark. Obviously there will be different shades and things to go on, so I'm just giving it this base colour just to fill in. You can slap it on how you want, really. It doesn't really matter, because I will go back over with lighter shades and various other bits as we go along. But the idea at the moment is to just get it covered, get the holes filled in. The holes that are on there, you can push paint into them and that will just fill that up. If it doesn't cover that well, you can come back and just give it another coat. It's not really going to matter. But I think you can see there that these were the plastic bits of pipe underneath that, but they're just a former. That's all they are. And when you first see things, if you're not used to that kind of modelling, you might think, well, bits of plastic pipe, why would you put that on there? But they were something that I just thought about that would replicate what I wanted to try and do, because that's it. That's what modelling's about sometimes, is finding things that you can use to actually form a shape of something that you may have in your mind. I mean, I pictured this in my head before I started to make it, and I think that's what most modelers do. They have an image of whatever it is they want to do in their mind, and then the idea is to get that image then into reality, so from your mind into a real thing. And that's what the challenge is, I think, with modelling. Anyway, we are getting this in quite well. It takes up quite a bit more paint than what you think. So I'm just going to put a bit more in. So a bit more in my mixing tray. I always buy these in there because these are £1. After a while, if you can't wash the paint out, it doesn't really matter. Well, you can just, once it's dry, you can just put another colour over the top. It doesn't hurt nothing. So it's quite a cheap process, and the paint's not that bad. And I use it for a lot of things, this acrylic, especially scenic. I find that it's very good. It lends itself very well for that. Covers good. And of course it's cheap. I don't know what I paid for that set of paints, but yeah, I use them a lot, and it's just a cheap way of going, because if you were going to do this with an enamel paint, it'd use up half a tin and there's your paint gone. Whereas if you're doing it with this, I just think acrylic paint lends itself to scenic type stuff. And as you can see around there now, the light catching it, you can see the grooves of the bark, which is why I put those strips of card down. Because if you look at a tree, you can see that the bark runs down in lines. So that's what I've tried to replicate by putting those bits of card on. And then, because later on this will have like static grass and the foam, the green foam and stuff all on it. So hopefully later on I'm going to make this look very realistic. But obviously you're the ones that can judge that. I have an image that I want it to look like. Whether I can replicate that or not, that's the challenge. So I do most times. I don't always succeed with getting things exactly how I want them. But with the static grass, what you do need is you need a base colour underneath, which does help. So just watering it down a little bit as I bring it out here a bit. But that's what we're doing here, is just painting this. So obviously there will be grass over the top of this. So I might put some green over it at some time, but I just want the base done so that, as you can see, you get through it quite quick. We're just watering it out a bit as it comes out here. A bit of the thick paint up in to get into that bit there. And of course it won't take that long to dry, and then you can start going over with lighter browns. You can put a bit of white in, various other bits and pieces. There's lots of things you can do to change the colour a little bit, give some shading. It's a bit like painting a picture. If you're painting a picture, you don't just use one solid colour. You look to see where the light's coming from and all the rest of it. So it's very similar when you're doing things like this. It's just like doing a painting. I mean, I'm no artist, but you do kind of take on board a little bit of what goes on to make it look realistic. So well, that's what you try to do as a modeler. You're trying to make something that looks like the real thing. So I suppose you are a kind of an artist in one way. So there we are. That is the tree trunk with one coat of a darkish brown paint on. So I hope you think that that does resemble it. I put my man on, my Detectorist is there. Yeah, for those that haven't watched it, I don't really know what channel it's on, but on the Catch-Up TV channels, if you type in the Detectorist, you will see it. I think there's 2 series of it, and I found it quite amusing, and so did my son-in-law, and of course that's why I'm making this. And some of the things I see in it, if you watch it, they become more relevant as time goes on. Like there's magpies feature quite heavily in this program, but I'm not going to spoil it. You can see for yourself why they do. But anyway, there we are with that. And as I progress with this, I will show you what's coming next. Okay, so I think there'll probably be a bit of fencing I'm going to make just to go in. Because it's a diorama. It's just something sits on a shelf and just shows you a little snapshot of something. So there we are. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if these are things that you enjoy. Comment if you want to pass any comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye now.